During the opening credits of our story, we see many jars that contain a butterfly. After that, the name Lisa Johnson gets uttered, and our protagonist wakes up. She turns off the radio near her, from which a child called her name. We pan around her room until we arrive at the girl looking out of her window. The house is surrounded by fog. In the living room, Lisa instructs her little brother, Robbie, how to play Pac-Man. Upon losing, he blames her. She gives him the radio, telling the boy to stop placing it in her room. However, he says Edgar put it there. Supposedly, that is his imaginary friend. From Lisa's mother, we learn it's the young girl's birthday tomorrow. Then her mom orders her to do the laundry using cold water. Lisa tells her she did the laundry yesterday. The next scene has Lisa standing near the front door, looking out into the fog. Her father approaches to shut the door. He says it's not a good idea to go outside, with the fog being there. Even the phones are out. Noticing that something is off with his daughter, he asks her about it. After telling him everything is fine, she also says he would not believe her if she said what was wrong. In her room, she listens to the story Peter and the Wolf, while practicing playing her clarinet to the story's music. Shortly after, her mom calls her downstairs because her parents want to talk to her. With them, she plays with a Rubik's Cube. Her dad says she has been acting strange. One of the reasons he says this is due to some clothes being missing from the laundry. Lisa doesn't know where they are. She says they are gone every day. Her father wants to make sense of that statement. This prompts Lisa to go over the routine the family engages in every day. She is quite specific about what comes after what. She tells them she won't go to school tomorrow, along with her dad not going to work. Regarding her birthday being tomorrow, that won't happen either. She is supposed to turn 16. Of course, such statements continue to be nonsensical to her dad. Not understanding what she told him, he asks if she's bored with her life. Mom has to jump in too. At that point, Lisa blows up, saying they don't get what she's saying. She tried to explain it to them many times, yet they never remember. She finishes solving the Rubik's Cube. The last thing she tells them is that they are stuck in the house forever. With her revelation of the problem she is experiencing, we wonder how she got stuck in a time loop. On top of that, why is she the only one aware of it? Afterward, a montage of scenes takes place of the family engaging in the routines Lisa went over. We see the three of them are happily taking part in the activities, but Lisa behaves aloof, wise to the repetition. When morning comes, we see she wasn't lying, because Robbie repeats the same sentences over the radio to wake her up. The girl looks out the window again. The fog is still there. Downstairs, the conversation about the laundry also repeats. We see that the poor girl has to do laundry every day. At least she should be grateful the time loop didn't grab hold of her during a school day. That would have been a true nightmare. Soon she hears something that causes her to lower her headphone. She also stops the washing machine. Looking behind it, Lisa tries moving it. At that moment, the lid to the dryer unexpectedly closes. Scared, she exits that room. The landline starts ringing, and she comes to answer it. However, it emits nothing except static. As she's playing her clarinet again, she hears her name called by a ghostly voice. Lisa looks into her ventilation shaft to hear her clarinet music coming from there. Her mother then surprises her about the missing laundry. Lisa gives her the same answer she's been giving for who knows how long. It's interesting to consider how many times she's repeated the same day. At night, she lies in bed, worrying. She notices someone standing behind her door. Once she sits up, the person walks away. Being brave, Lisa exits her room to check who it was. She goes to a place with an open door. It shuts on her as soon as she tries touching the handle. Of course, this makes her rush back to her room in fear. Morning comes to initiate the repetition. We instantly switch to her checking behind the washing machine again. She manages to move it this time, without the dryer's lid closing. A hidden door is revealed. It seems big enough for only a dwarf to properly walk through it. Lisa tries opening it, yet it is to no avail. Although she made some progress today, she doesn't know what to do. While playing the clarinet, this time she hears something coming from the ceiling. So she comes to that open door again. Continuing to make progress, she does not allow it to shut on her. Inside the room, we see a cassette lying on the floor with the words Moving Day written as its title. Our young heroine puts it into the VCR to start watching it. We notice the year is 1984, and the family is standing outside the house. Her dad says it is their new home. Lisa rewinds the cassette in an attempt to catch something. She did it to observe a shadowy figure standing inside the house. She sits there, not knowing what to do again. Returning to her room, she takes out an Ouija board. The first thing she asks is if anyone is there. She doesn't get a response. After some more unanswered question, Lisa asks if the one she is trying to contact is alive. A toy rocking chair starts moving somewhere. She is shocked to find the pointer has moved to the word yes. Then the lamp above her goes out. We briefly see someone stand behind her. She sees that person in the television's reflection. Perhaps her seeing it is what makes the screen crack. All of this causes her to run away in fear. At the dinner table, her father starts smoking. Lisa is amazed by it, asking the man since when he smokes. It's also not part of the routine. Lisa's mom says he always smokes post-dinner. Shortly after, Lisa spies on him working on his car. It seems like he's talking to himself, along with being more aggressive. At night, she sees someone behind her door again. The door handle turns this time, with whoever is there opening the door to enter the room. This makes Lisa quickly hide under her blanket. The ghostly voice calls out to her again. The girl can only fearfully question who it is and what it wants. After a hand presses against her blanket, she yells for it to go away. Uncovering herself, she finds that no one is there. On the next morning, the routine does not repeat. Robbie talks on the radio, though he tells her something completely different. Downstairs, her dad is being aggressive with her mom. He accuses her of stealing something from him. Soon, their daughter comes to see what is happening. There is a mess of thrown items on the floor. Lisa's father even gets aggressive with Lisa. A saving moment arrives with their doorbell ringing. For some reason, Lisa urges her mom not to open it. However, the lady opens it and we hear it's someone from the phone company. He wants to come in, so he is allowed that privilege. Lisa gets frightened on seeing him. It creates a skull in her pupil. The man gives her a very creepy smile as he keeps walking. He also speaks oddly. Once he goes upstairs, Lisa gets the idea to go to her room where she sees the man sitting on her bed while smoking. He asks her how long she has been awake. At first, his question confuses her, yet she quickly learns what he means, saying it could be 1 week. What she wants to know more than anything right now is who he is and what's going on. The mysterious man comes forth to take off his sunglasses. He advises Lisa that she should ignore any voices calling out to her. He adds that if she attempts to contact anyone, her family will suffer immeasurably. When he puts his sunglasses back on, Lisa's face resembles a skull in their reflection. After that highly uncomfortable interaction, the man just leaves. At the next dinner, Lisa notices her dad is not smoking this time. He doesn't even know what she's talking about upon her mentioning it. These recent shifts in the routine cause the girl to lose her calm. She leaves the table to go into the garage. There, she starts taking her bike to ride outside. Her father worryingly advises her against taking this action, for the fog is thick out there. But she ignores the man of the house to escape this craziness. As she rides, she calls out to anyone who might be out there. She doesn't want to be stuck anymore. It doesn't take long for her to discover that not only is there a temporal abnormality, but also a spatial one. She's likely riding in a straight line away from her house. Despite that, she soon returns home, where her dad tells her to come back in. This makes her turn her bike around to try escaping again. However, repeating the same action gives her the same result. The next scene has the poor girl with the Ouija board again. She apologizes to whoever she told to go away last night. She believes herself to be deceased. She doesn't know how it happened. Lisa starts saying that the other man might be deceased too. He is the odd man who doesn't want her to contact anyone. Yet his threats don't stop her from trying to talk to this person with the Ouija board. After asking some questions, she doesn't get an answer. This angers our heroine, who wishes the presence would say something. Following this, Lisa returns to her room and is shocked to find someone sleeping in her bed. It is a girl about the same age as Lisa. She holds her hand over the sleeping girl, which the latter quickly grabs before saying Lisa's name. The room starts shaking in addition to the lights starting to flicker. A man behind the door calls out the name, Olivia. It's very likely the new girl's name. She tells Lisa to look under the floor, which prompts the girl to see a hole in it. When the room gets broken into by the man, this bizarre event normalizes to Lisa standing alone in her room. She then loses consciousness. The following morning has the original repetition take place. What Robbie says on the radio is how she could know whether things will be different or not. Lisa instantly starts looking at what Olivia told her about. She wants to find that hole in the floor. After using scissors to cut the carpet, she uncovers a normal floor. There are, however, loose planks that she removes. This allows her to find a book in the hole. Opening it, she lands on a page of a missing girl named Frances Nichols. It dates back to June 6, 1953. Flipping the pages shows her more missing girls. For some reason, they are solely girls. She also finds a rusty key in the book, instantly knowing what door to use it on. The next scene has her opening the small door and crawling into that room. Lucky for her, she doesn't have to keep crawling there. The walls are made of stone, showing how different the place is from the rest of the house. Soon, Lisa steps into water, where she finds a bottle of poison. Then she hears another door getting locked. Lisa comes to the door that looks like a vault door, seeing a young girl through a small opening on it. She tells Lisa to help her before igniting into flames. Lisa is forced to escape from that frightening place. Afterward, the family eats pancakes for breakfast. As they do, the phone rings, startling them all. Lisa's father answers it, telling her it's one of her teachers. The girl comes toward the phone apprehensively. Of course, the actual caller is that mystery man who tells her she should have minded her own business. He also says it's his house. She should stop opening doors that are supposed to be closed. But the girl bravely asks a rhetorical question. What is he going to do to her if she's already deceased? To her dismay, he shows her what he could do when she faces the table. A boy is sitting in a chair. We learn from Robbie that it's Edgar, the former's not-so-imaginary friend. Now that Lisa perceives him, she yells for him to stay away from Robbie. She makes a scene with her parents about them not seeing him. At that point, Edgar vanishes to appear behind her. He speaks in the mysterious man's voice, telling her they see what he allows them to see. We observe how the clock starts moving forward much faster. Her family is asleep at the table. Lisa comes to hug Robbie, only to soon discover he looks like a corpse. With the sped-up movement of the clock, she sees her parents dissolve into corpses too. The horror doesn't stop until their bones turn to dust. This devastates our heroine. She cries on the floor about not wanting to be alone. She wants her family with her, After that, her wish becomes granted as her family stands to look at her. They hug her, and she's happy to have them back. This is what could happen if she upsets the mystery man. Lisa then returns to her room, hearing her name whispered. It prompts her to run to the ventilation shaft, yelling to be left alone. She might not hear her name anymore, yet she hears the water running in the washroom, so she goes there to investigate. Looking in the mirror, she gets shocked to find Olivia there, although the girl exists only in the reflection, not in reality. Lisa touches her in the mirror. Once Olivia touches her back, Lisa seems to become Olivia. She walks back into her room to find it's not her version of it. She also finds an article there that states a family of 4 was found deceased in a house. The family being mentioned is Lisa's. The cause of their demise was carbon monoxide. Shortly after, Lisa starts walking around in this different version of her house that belongs to Olivia's family. Olivia's younger sister sees Lisa and calls her Olivia, because that's who she sees. The mother asks if she has been sleepwalking. Going into the garage, Lisa sees Olivia's dad. He's angry, working on his car, just like her own father was during that one time. The man behaves angrily with who he thinks is his daughter, telling her to leave. When he yells, the increased decibels seem to transport Lisa back to her reality. Her mom tells her dad that Lisa is probably sleepwalking due to waking up in the garage. After her parents are done comforting her, she searches for Olivia in her room. She tries talking to the girl in her mirror, wanting to be brought back to her world. What happens instead is Robbie calling her on the radio. He informs her that Edgar told him she needs to be punished for being bad. He tells her they're in the secret cave. Knowing what place he's talking about, Lisa goes to the laundry room to find the small door open. She walks inside, searching for him. This time, the vault door is open too. Inside that final room, she finds human skeletal remains. Robbie calls her to say they tricked her. The place they're truly at is the attic. Edgar told him they won the game. At that moment, the menacing man appears to lock Lisa in that room. Of course, what is she to do except to panic? Her possible fate is right there on the floor in the form of bones. After sitting there for an unknown amount of time, she finds a ring amid the remains that dates back to 1954. It seems like discovering it causes the hatch to open in the ceiling. It's her sole way of escaping, therefore she starts climbing through the narrow area. Upon removing the lid at the top, she emerges into the garage. There, she witnesses a girl slamming a lock on a door with a hammer. Once the girl turns around, Lisa sees she's not Olivia. She is Frances Nichols, the first girl who the menacing man kidnapped. Lisa wants to know who the man is, though Frances isn't the one to inform her. She just describes how he kidnapped her. She woke up restrained in the back seat of the car currently in the garage. The engine was running, and she thought she would lose her life. Then Frances gets the lock to open. Lisa tells her she is in the same situation as Frances. She attempts to educate the girl about what the man does, but the first victim wants her to be silent. She opens the garage, saying she wants to go home. Lisa gives her the horrible news that nothing is out there. Frances is not awake like Lisa is. She still thinks it's the night she disappeared. This forces Lisa to tell her that she has been gone for decades. Her family moved on without her. She shows Frances the ring she found, saying that they connected when she touched it. The man took her life, she adds, before placing the ring near her. About to touch it, Frances instantly gets pulled out into the fog by the man's hand. With that unfortunate happening, the garage door closes. Afterward, Lisa's mom enters to find her there. Lisa starts searching for something frantically. Eventually, she finds a bottle of ether. This causes her to think her father did something horrible. She turns to her mom, yelling at her that she let him do it. She drops the bottle in a rage prior to leaving. After that, she enters Robbie's room, telling him the cold, harsh truth that none of them are alive anymore. He replies that he realized it this morning after he found his glasses. He was wearing them the night they all perished. His unexpected acceptance of this certainly makes things easier for Lisa. She comes back to her room to play her clarinet. Soon, she starts playing at a skilled level. Her playing seems to transport her back to Olivia's reality. There, she uses a marker to write on her arm that Olivia should get out of the house. Subsequently, she comes to a tablet that has a sticky note on it, instructing Lisa to play the video. If it wasn't clear earlier, we see Olivia is in the house in the 2010s. Of course, being from 1984, Lisa has zero clue what a tablet is. She confusedly searches for the play button, until she correctly guesses to touch the play icon in the middle of the screen. This makes the video start playing, where Olivia educates Lisa about the man who lived in the house before Lisa's family. His name was Edgar Mullins, who murdered many girls over the years. He met his demise in 1983. Olivia also mentions the changes she noticed in her parents, along with showing Lisa her necklace that she's now wearing. It's how they were able to connect, just like Lisa connected to Frances by touching the latter's ring. The last thing the girl from the future asks is for Lisa to help save her family. Then, as Olivia, Lisa goes downstairs and hears the girl's parents arguing like hers did previously. The father soon turns into the menacing man, while Lisa attempts to inform the mother to leave the house with her kids. This causes the man to start coming for Lisa, yet she runs outside. Surprisingly, there is no fog out there. It's a clear day. Lisa runs to a man mowing his lawn for help. To her dismay, an invisible force field holds her back. The menacing man is there to tell her that a ghost can never leave the house. So Lisa wakes up in her bed with her mom by her side. Even her mother now realizes they are all lifeless. She tells her daughter she was wrong when she accused her of not trying to save them. She shows Lisa the clothes that have been missing from the laundry. The lady planned to sneak her family out of the house with those clothes at night. Lisa now wants to talk to her father, something her mom urges her not to do. However, she goes to do it. She doesn't want to be stuck there as a ghost for who knows how much longer. In the garage, she tells her dad he lost the spark plugs on purpose because he knew what he was turning into. Therefore, she asks him where they are. The man opens a bucket of paint to take them out. She acts like the boss, telling him to put them back in the engine. Again, he obeys her command. Shortly after, the duo sits in the car and he starts it. The man sits there, confused. Lisa keeps pushing him, asking if he remembers what happened to them. At that point, he says in a quiet voice that he released the ether on all of them. He followed that action by carrying his family to the garage. He starts crying due to realizing what he has done, but his daughter comforts him by saying it wasn't him. Someone else got inside him, she says. Her words cause the windows of the car to shatter. The entire family then meets in the living room while the house is shaking with the lights flickering. It feels like hell is about to emerge from the floor. This is the result of all of them being awake. The wall starts displaying a picture of young Edgar with his parents. Once Lisa opens the front door, they see the intense fog outside. Getting excited about seeing a faint sun, Robbie runs out there. His mother follows him to get him back. Lisa's father stands there, telling his daughter they can now leave. The girl says she loves him before shutting the door on her dad. She is the only person in the house, yet it's neither her nor Olivia's version. It's Edgar's version. She sees the clock stop ticking. Entering a certain room, she witnesses Edgar applying ether on his dad after having already done so to his mom. The boy looks at her to say she should leave his house. This prompts her to run elsewhere. Edgar transforms into his adult form to come after her. She stays in a room that has many jars of butterflies. We should recall seeing those jars at the story's beginning. They are perhaps symbolic of all the souls Edgar traps in his house. Soon Olivia's dad breaks through the door, which causes the house to turn into Olivia's version. Lisa hides from him under the bed. When he leaves, she comes out to venture into the laundry room, where she discovers that the small door has been covered by a wall there in the future. That doesn't stop our heroine, though. At this point, nothing can stop her from making progress. She uses a crowbar to break the wall, along with the door behind it. There's no more time for keys. Underground, Lisa collects several items from the water. They are all the items that belong to all the deceased girls. Lisa gathers them in one pile, in an attempt to connect with all of them. Unfortunately, Olivia's dad comes behind her to apply the ether on the girl. The next scene has her waking up, restrained, in a car. Olivia's mom is there with her, conveniently. There is a lighter on the floor that Lisa manages to collect. She uses it to burn the tape around her wrists. Once she undoes the rest, she spots Edgar entering the garage with Olivia's younger sister. So she fakes being restrained, in addition to being unconscious. Sitting in the driver's seat, Edgar tells Lisa how persistent she is. After he starts the car, she uses the tape she removed to strangle him from behind. She doesn't finish it, but she removes the car keys to run out of the house with them. Out there, she throws them in the rain. Edgar joins her in the wet weather, telling Lisa her time is gone. Then he shows her an extra set of keys he can use to restart the car. Throwing the keys outside wasn't a victory, it was just a postponement. Lisa tries to run back inside, only to be grabbed by Edgar. At that moment, Francis appears there too. Seeing her makes the man let go of Lisa. His first victim points at him in a judgmental manner. She comes closer to deliver a ghastly scream to him. Doing that transports him to a foggy zone, where black smoke circles around him. All the girls he claimed over the decades start coming to him from the fog. He sees his parents there too. They all come at him, and we see the wicked man finally burning behind the vault door. Following this, Olivia's father wakes up outside, confused as to what happened. Inside, Lisa tells him they will return to being a happy family. The last moment in Olivia's version of the house has Lisa standing before the mirror, telling Olivia to have a good life. After that, Lisa returns to her world. She wakes up to something unsettling. Robbie talks over the radio to repeat his usual line. However, at the end of it, he congratulates her on her birthday. The day has come at last. She goes downstairs to find she has received a bike for her birthday. Her mom tells her they are finally home. Since she said that, it means they still remember what happened to them. Lisa opens the front door to see an immense light shine through. She hears her name being whispered.